So, FIFA 23, it's nowhere near yet out yet. However, it is that time of year where FIFA players are burning out on FIFA and looking forward to the next year's edition. With that in mind, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to constructively rant about this year's FIFA and Pro Clubs and talk about how I would improve FIFA 22 Pro Clubs for FIFA 23. So let's get into it. The first thing we're going to be fixing about FIFA 23 Pro Clubs is drop-in matches. Now, FIFA 22's drop-in matches changed massively compared to FIFA 21's. Now here we're going to quickly go into a game, we'll try and find the game, and I want to see if you can notice something disappear. Aside from myself here, this is what the full screen looks like on PS5 Pro Clubs drop-in matches. And something is about to disappear here. I want to see if you can notice. Did you see that? As we started searching for a match, a certain button disappeared, and that was the circle button, and that is one of the most mind-numbingly stupid features, or lack of features, that FIFA 22 has implemented, and that is the inability to leave or cancel searches. So if I went into a search and changed my mind about whether I wanted to play, I would be stuck here until I played the game, or I would have had to close the game and restarted the app. Now, I actually found a match fairly quickly here, but another thing about FIFA 22 Pro Clubs is that the matchmaking is awful. I say that I actually found a good matchup here. However, most games you come across, you'll probably play only one person, or you might be the one person on your team, which is very annoying when that happens. Hey guys, this is in the post edit, and look what happens here. This is completely unintentional, this isn't fake or anything, this is purely what happened, and I actually stopped recording because I was intending on playing the game. However, look, it's a 5v1. How is this fair, FIFA? The matchmaking is so broken. I didn't even mean for this to happen. I stopped recording intending to play, and then we come across just one person, and obviously they're gonna leave because this is just completely unfair. FIFA, please fix the matchmaking. As you saw there, we just disconnected from the game. Our opponent rather, was simply just one person, and obviously it was incredibly unfair for him or them for us to be in a 5v1 against them. As most people would, they just left. You know, I don't blame them. If I was in a 5v1, it would be pretty miserable, and chances are I would leave halfway through. Now, how do you fix it? It's a simple solution really. You just go back to FIFA 21 Pro Clubs drop-in matches, because in FIFA 21 it is just a pre-game lobby. So 10 people would join the lobby, they could choose their teams, they choose whether they want to be in home or away. The benefit of having a pre-game lobby is that you can talk to people beforehand. You don't have to commit to playing a whole game before you can talk to your teammates. Whereas this just puts you straight into a game without giving you any other options aside from inviting friends. So for those die-hard Pro Clubs players, they lost the ability to find teammates easily unless they went onto other platforms such as Discord and joined other communities. And something as easy as finding teammates shouldn't be as such a nuisance on Pro Clubs on FIFA 22. It should just be easy as going into a lobby and finding or talking to people and seeing if they want to join your team. But unfortunately, FIFA 22 does have this weird drop-in match system where you can't leave and it just forces you to play. But I guess that's a great way of keeping people in your game, by just simply forcing them to play your game. Now, I'm no game developer or anything, so I don't really understand the nuance of having cross-platform matchmaking, but that is something that is incredibly needed in Pro Clubs and FIFA in general. As look at this, there's currently only 1,000 people on the PS5 version. In most cases on Pro Clubs, you're gonna take a while searching for games because there are so few people playing Pro Clubs, as they are all spread out over multiple platforms such as PS5, PS4, Xbox and PC. But I am no game developer, I don't know how difficult it is to implement a cross-play feature. However, EA, a multi-million company, I would assume should be able to do this. Alongside having cross-play matchmaking, another thing that needs to be fixed is the matchmaking within clubs, and specifically one of the settings in clubs. Now, there's already broken kits on FIFA, and that's been a while for a few years, but that can be worked around if you don't use a white kit. Now on here, there is best match my team size on the right, and that's currently off. Now the benefit of having best match my team size is that if you're only playing with a few people, say one other player, and you have a team of 2, you can turn this on and you should come across only players, or only teams rather, that have up to 4 players. Now this was a feature that worked last year, however again for some reason this is now broken. At the time of recording this is still broken and has been for the whole of FIFA 22, but maybe it's been fixed in a future patch, I don't know. Hopefully it does get fixed in next year's FIFA, because it is just such a nice feature to have, because coming up against like 6 players whilst you only have 2 is incredibly infuriating, and chances are you're just going to get decimated. Whether you've got a good team or not, you are screwed. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the level up system. Now this is going to be an obvious one, but look at here, I've played 379 matches with an average rating of 8.5. I should probably be max rating by now, but I'm going to be a few hundred games away. As you can see in the top right, I'm only level 22. Bruh. And that is ridiculous that I have to play probably around, what, 500, 600 games just to max out my player. Say you're a player who only averages, say, like a 7 rating. You're probably going to be close to 1,000 games when you reach level 25. That is ridiculous. That needs to get changed ASAP. And that should be an easy fix. Just scale down the level up system. Say 200 games max should be max rating for everyone. Now the level up system itself is quite boring, as you have to just grind out the games. Even if it was a 200 game limit, you just still have to grind out 200 games. And often you'll see people leave anyway. And with that, I don't really have any other solutions. FIFA have tried many other level up systems, and personally I prefer the achievement one, which was back in around FIFA 16 I believe. However, that's just up to FIFA and how creative they can get with the level up system. Finally, I want to talk about the gameplay, and more specifically the CPU. And again, I'm going to preface this by saying I'm no game developer, so I don't know how difficult it is to improve gameplay. But one thing about Pro Club's gameplay that is really annoying is the CPU. And this is where the whole controversy of playing with an any or playing without an any comes from. And simply put, if you play without an any, you're easily at a disadvantage because you're simply relying on the CPU, and that is just completely random. So you're just relying on luck. As opposed to an any, although any is a difficult position to play, if you have a good any, you are going to be in such a good position to beat other teams. And the biggest way to fix the CPU, in my opinion, is when you tell the CPU to do something, they actually need to do it. Now again, I'm no game developer, so this could be a whole gameplay issue. However, something like clearing the ball. So many times have I seen or have I experienced the CPU just not clear the ball, even though I've been telling them to clear the ball. And a lot of the times, if you want to clear the ball, chances are you're in your own box. So when the CPU don't clear the ball and get tackled, it generally leads to a goal, and that is infuriating. That should be a feature. Specifically clearing the ball should override any other thing. As soon as someone presses clear the ball, they clear the ball. The one downside I can think of with CPU clearances overriding everything else is that people in drop-in matches could use that to troll. But I feel like that is such a small thing compared to the entirety of Pro Club's gameplay, where the CPU are just so unusable. That's going to be everything I wanted to cover, and again, as I've said many times before, I'm no game developer, so I don't know how difficult it would be to implement a lot of these things. But something like drop-in matches, having just the leave feature should be a must. Like, I don't know any other game that doesn't have the ability to leave or cancel matchmaking. And obviously I'm under no impression that EA are going to watch this video and listen to me, but this is just me, again, constructively ranting about FIFA 22, as I am just desperate for one of the new football games that are coming up to compete with FIFA, and hopefully they either have pro clubs or are enough of a competition to EA that they will actually improve their game. But that's going to be everything I wanted to talk about and cover. So if there's anything that I missed or you guys might think of, then please do let me know down below in the comments. But that aside, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, I hope you guys have a good day, and bye bye.